All right, let's talk about something we've all had drilled into our heads from day one of our careers. Max out your 401k. It's treated like the gospel of personal finance. But what if it's not the whole truth? What if that advice is actually a trap? One that's designed to make Wall Street and the IRS rich, maybe even more so than you? Let's peel back the layers and see what's really going on. So let's make this real. Imagine two people, same company, same $100,000 salary. Person A does exactly what they're told. They max out their 401k contribution, feeling super responsible. But the truth is, they're cash poor. An emergency pops up, it's got to go on a credit card. Now, person B, the insider, does something different. They only contribute enough to get the company match and invest the rest of their money somewhere else. And the result? Well, person B is retired and traveling the world at 45, while person A is still grinding away, waiting until they're 60 just to get permission to use their own money. And this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? It makes you stop and ask, what are we doing this for? Are we actually building our own freedom, or are we just sacrificing our most vibrant years to feed a system that's designed to keep us on the hamster wheel? When you say it out loud, it sounds kind of crazy. To really get why this happens, we have to look at two fundamental flaws that are baked right into the 401k system. Think of them as twin traps. And the first one is a concept your financial advisor probably glossed over when they told you to lock away your money for the next 30 or 40 years. That concept is liquidity. And really, all that means is having access to your own money when you need it. See, when you dump all your savings into a 401k, you're not just investing. You're basically putting your money in a vault, handing the only key to the government, and they put up a big sign that says, sorry, come back when you're 59 and a half. And here's the kicker. If life throws you a curveball, a sudden medical bill, or maybe a once-in-a-lifetime business opportunity, and you dare to try and use your own money, well, the system slaps you on the wrist hard. You get hit with a 10% penalty right off the top, and then you still have to pay regular income taxes on what's left. All of a sudden, that 50 grand you desperately need might cost you an extra $10,000 or $20,000 just to access. So you have to ask yourself, is this really a savings account for my benefit, or is it a system designed to hold my money hostage? Because let's be honest, money you can't touch isn't really yours. It belongs to the system. Okay, so that's trap number one. Now for trap number two. This one is way sneakier. It's like a silent thief that's draining your account every single day. I'm talking about management fees. You see, most 401ks give you this very limited menu of mutual funds to pick from, and a whole lot of them have fees hovering around 1%. Now, I know what you're thinking. 1%, that's tiny. What's the big deal? Well, over 30 years, that tiny little leak compounds into a flood. Look at this. Without that fee, your nest egg could have grown to almost $750,000. But with it, you're left with just over $600,000. Let's put a hard number on how much that tiny fee just cost you. That 1% fee just made over $130,000 of your money disappear, vanish. To put that in perspective, that's a brand new Porsche 911. You see, Wall Street set up a perfect system for them. They get paid their fees whether your account goes up or down. You, on the other hand, take all the risk. But wait, you're saying, what about the tax break? Isn't that the whole point of the 401k? And that is where the sales pitch gets brilliant, and where the system sets up an even bigger trap for you down the road. It's a ticking tax time bomb, and it's set to go off the moment you retire. Yeah, the big buzzword is tax-deferred, but let's be really, really clear on what that means. Deferred does not mean free. All you're doing is taking out a 30-year loan from the government. You get a little break today, but you're promising to pay them back later at whatever tax rate they decide to charge you in the future. I mean, think about that. Would you ever sign a contract for a 30-year loan where the bank says, we'll tell you the interest rate on the day the final payment is due? Of course not. That would be completely insane. And yet that is the exact bet you are making with your 401k. You're gambling that tax rates in the future will be lower than they are today. With rising national debt, that's a risky bet. And if you think you're going to be slick and just take out a little bit at a time in retirement to stay in a low tax bracket, nope, the IRS is way ahead of you. They have a rule called required minimum distributions, or RMDs. And it basically means that after decades of you saving, they want their cut. And they are going to force you to take it out. And here's the truly cruel irony of the whole thing. The better you are at saving, the more the system punishes you. If you build up a huge 401k, Those RMDs can force you to withdraw massive amounts of money, which can launch you into the highest tax bracket of your entire life, right when you're on a fixed income. It's unbelievable. Okay, so after all that doom and gloom, you're probably thinking you should just cash out your 401k and run for the hills. But hold on, we're not abandoning the game. We're just going to play it smarter. Because buried inside the 401k is one feature that is absolutely unbeatable. And we're going to exploit it for everything it's worth. This right here, this is the secret weapon, your employer's match. It's literally free money. If your job offers to match, say, 5% of your salary, they are handing you a guaranteed immediate 100% return on your investment. You put in $5,000, it instantly becomes $10,000. You can't find a risk-free 100% return anywhere else on planet Earth. Not even the best investors in the world can do that. And the strategy to capture this is beautifully simple. It's called match and dash. Step 1, find out the maximum percentage your company will match. Step 2, set your contribution to that exact number, not a penny more. Step 3, stop. You've gotten all the free money. And step 4, you dash with the rest of your investable cash into better accounts that actually give you control. And this quote just nails the whole philosophy. The goal here is to be surgical. You go in, you grab every single dollar of free money they're putting on the table, and then you turn off the faucet before all the bad stuff, the lack of access, the hidden fees, that ticking tax bomb can start to hurt you. Now, this is where things get really exciting. By dialing back your 401k contribution to just the match, you've just given yourself a raise. You've freed up a whole bunch of cash in every single paycheck. So the big question is, where does that money go now? You take that cash and you put it into accounts that give you a much, much better deal. Tax-free growth. Think about a Roth IRA or a health savings account, an HSA. These are basically the opposite of a 401k. Instead of deferring taxes, you pay taxes on the money now, on the small seed you plant. But then, the entire harvest, every penny of growth, every dollar you take out in retirement is 100% yours, tax-free, forever. And when you see this, it suddenly becomes crystal clear why the max out advice is everywhere. It's not because it's the best strategy for you. It's because it's the best strategy for the system. Wall Street gets to lock up your money for decades and just skim fees off the top, and the IRS gets to watch you build this giant taxable pile of money that they can't wait to get their hands on later. So look, the big takeaway here is not that 401ks are evil. It's that you have to be the smart one in the room. You have to be strategic. You go in, you grab that unbeatable 100% return from the match, and then you take back control of your own cash and point it towards accounts that give you real flexibility and true financial freedom. So here is your one single action item from all of this. I'm serious. Don't put this off. As soon as this is over, open a new tab, log into your company's HR portal, find your 401k contribution, and change the percentage to your company's exact match. That one 5-minute action could fundamentally change the entire trajectory of your financial life. And I'll just leave you with this final question to chew on. Imagine you had an extra $5, $10, maybe $15,000 in cash this year that wasn't locked away in that 401k vault. What would you do with it? Would you start that side business? Would you invest in a rental property? Would you pay off your high-interest debt? See, when you stop overfunding a broken system, you finally start funding your own life. All right, let's cut right to it. Today, we're laying out a super clear, no-nonsense plan to get you out of the debt cycle, take back the keys to your own money, and start building a life where you're the one in charge. But first, we've got to ask a tough question that most people try to avoid. So you're doing what you're told, right? You're diligently putting money into your 401k, watching it grow, and feeling like you're on the right track. But what if it's all just a big illusion? What if, for a lot of us, it's actually making us poorer? Let's just look at the raw numbers, the simple, brutal math. Yeah, your 401k might be pulling in a pretty decent 8% return on average, but that credit card debt you're carrying, that's draining 20% from you, year after year after year. Look, you're not breaking even here. You're not treading water. You are actively losing 12% of your hard-earned money every single year. It's like trying to fill a bucket that's got a giant hole in the bottom. You simply cannot invest your way out of a hole that big. So, what's the first move? It's obvious. We have to patch the hole. Step 1 isn't about some fancy, clever investing trick. It's about brute force. It's time to go to war and absolutely annihilate that high-interest, blood-sucking debt. Just let that sink in for a minute. Every single dollar you send them in interest isn't building your retirement. Nope, it's building a banker's dream. It's time to stop funding their lifestyle and start building your own. People are always looking for the next hot stock tip. Well, this is it. This is the single best investment on planet Earth. Forget crypto, forget the stock market. Paying off a 20% credit card is like getting a guaranteed, tax-free, risk-free 20% return. You just can't beat it. There's no way. Okay, the debt is gone. You now officially control 100% of your income. Can you feel that? The air just feels different, doesn't it? So now that our foundation is solid, it's time to build a financial fortress, one that can survive anything life throws at you. Now listen, before you invest a single dime, you build what I call your Black Day Safe. This is your emergency fund. We're talking 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses sitting in a high-yield savings account. This is not investment money, it's insurance money. It has to be easy to get to so that when your car breaks down or you get a surprise medical bill, you don't get thrown right back into debt. All right, your defenses are up, the moat is full, your financial fortress is secure. Now we can bring out the heavy artillery. Now we can talk about building real, tangible, accessible wealth. Okay, this slide is absolutely critical. I want you to think of a traditional 401k as a kind of financial prison. Yeah, you get a little tax break now, but your money is locked up tight until you're almost 60. And when you finally get to take it out, wham, it gets slammed with taxes. The Roth IRA, on the other hand, that's freedom. You pay the taxes on the small seed of money you put in today, but the entire tree, all the growth, everything is yours to keep, 100% tax-free. And here's the Roth's real superpower. This is the game changer. Let's say you put in $6,000 this year, but next year something happens and you need that cash for a down payment or whatever. You can pull out that original $6,000 at any time for any reason. No questions asked. Zero taxes, zero penalties. That flexibility alone is incredible for your peace of mind. So you've killed your debt, you've built your fortress, and you're funding your Roth IRA. Awesome. But what if you don't want to wait until you're nearly 60 to actually enjoy your life? This is where we start playing chess, not checkers. We need to build a bridge, a financial bridge, a bridge of cash that can cover all of your living expenses from the day you decide to punch out early, say at age 45, all the way until you hit that magic number of 59.5, when you can access all your other retirement money penalty-free. And building this bridge is actually pretty simple. So after you've maxed out that Roth IRA contribution every year, any extra money you have to invest goes into accounts that give you total freedom. We're talking a standard brokerage account where you can buy and sell whenever you want, or real-world assets like a rental property that spits out cash every month. I can practically hear you thinking this right now. This all sounds great, but I've already got $100,000 trapped in my old company's 401k. Is that money just useless until I'm an old man? Well, the answer is no, and there's a beautiful, completely legal way to get to it. I want you to meet your new best friend, Rule 72T. Think of this as the key that unlocks the 401k prison cell early. It's a real IRS rule that lets you set up something called substantially equal periodic payments. It's basically a fancy way of saying you can pay yourself an annuity from your own retirement funds, totally penalty-free. So what does this look like in the real world? Okay, imagine you're 45 and you've got $500,000 sitting in an old 401k. By using a 72T plan, you could start pulling out around $20,000 every single year to live on, and the penalty for doing this early? Zero. Nothing. You just pay the regular income tax on it, which, you were going to have to do anyway. But, and this is a huge but, here is the critical warning. Once you turn on that 72T money faucet, you cannot turn it off. You can't change the amount. You are locked into that payment schedule for at least 5 years or until you hit 59.5, whichever period is longer. So it's an incredibly powerful tool, but you have to be absolutely sure before you commit. And that brings us to our final step, which is really what this has all been about from the very beginning, taking back control. This is the whole point. This is the entire philosophy. It's not about having a giant pile of money that you can't even touch. It's about having the freedom and the cash flow to live your life on your own terms, on your own timeline. Your money should be your servant, not your master. So let's wrap this all up. Let's recap the entire 4-step roadmap. Step 1, the match and dash. Only contribute enough to your 401k to get that free company match. Then stop. Step 2, annihilate bad debt. Use all that extra cash to destroy any loan with a high interest rate. Step 3, build your fortress. Fill up that emergency fund, then max out your Roth IRA. And finally, step 4, build the FIRE bridge with everything else, using brokerage accounts and real assets. And that's where I'm going to leave you. Don't just listen to this and then go back to your day. What is the one single concrete action you can take tomorrow morning to start this journey? Maybe it's just checking your 401k contribution rate. Maybe it's making one extra $50 payment on your credit card. Whatever it is, do it. The power is in your hands now.